Thank you for joining me today as we watch the Aceless Joes play best shot doubles at the Pro Tour layout at the Idlewild Disc Golf Course in Burlington, Kentucky. These players have an average rating of around 900, and can they work together as a team and put up a score that competes with the highest level of pro disc golfer? Well, they're off to a great start as Drew takes that first hole solo and knocks it in for birdie. Drew will also take the tee shot on this second hole where they run into some trouble hitting an early tree, but Benjamin is going to come in with a very aggressive upshot on hole 2 to try to secure the birdie. And it looks like he landed safe, so they are off to a hot start, -2 through the first two holes. Moving on to hole 3, it's a low ceiling turnover on the tee shot here, which is always a difficult throw, and they do not execute it very good, leaving themselves in a very tough position. One note about this course is that the Pro Tour layout is always available. Usually it's a 24-hole course, so this is an example of where two holes are combined to make that Pro Tour layout. As you can see, Drew tapping in for par. So it's always pretty cool being able to play the same course that the pros play. On to hole 4 here, and Drew's going to execute that first shot perfectly. Now the second shot's the real challenge on this hole, and Drew is just on a heater right now, just taking all these difficult shots and making them look easy, but they leave themselves with a long putt, which Benjamin cashes in for birdie. They are off to a hot start, 3 under through the first 5 holes. And here's the most difficult hole they've played so far. It's this long par 3 with trouble on the left side. Looks like they just play it for par though, laying up off the tee and an easy upshot, easy putt. And they are 3 under through 5 holes. Hole 6 here is a little bit of a gamble. You kind of just throw your shot at a wall of trees and hope for a favorable kick. And well, their kick was not ideal, but Benjamin is going to throw this upshot to about 40 feet short of the pin. And Drew is going to cash in that long putt for birdie. The tee sign says hole 7 is a 484-foot par 4, and that is not true at all. This hole is much longer than 480 feet. And just like every other disc golf YouTuber says, you can't see how uphill this hole really is, but it's up a cliff. And you see they run into some trouble and are just going to settle for par on hole 7. Now the first par 5 of the course is hole 8, which is not very long but very technical. The tee shot gets through clean though, so they are in great position. And this second shot is just looking perfect. They are going to have an eagle look. Let's see if Drew can tap it in. Yes, they record the eagle. And let's check in with Benjamin, see why he could not record the solo eagle here. Let's see what happened. Oh my goodness, that was terrible. Just out of the hand, he knew it was a miss, and well, good thing it's best shot doubles. As a team, they still record the eagle. Moving on to hole 9 here, we've seen a few professional players ace this hole in the Idlewild tournament, but the Aceless Joes hit a tree and have left themselves a knee putt, and will not be able to record the birdie on this hole, so they will settle for par. Hole 10 is very long and yeah, pretty technical par 3. You can see a million trees in the fairway. They leave themselves a long look for birdie. Oh, but it looks like they'll have to settle for par. Now, hole 11 is a great opportunity for an ace. Now, Drew overthrows it a little bit. Going to be kind of a look for birdie. Let's see what Benjamin did on this hole.
Oh no!
Okay, well, clearly these are not professionals, but they do have a long look for birdie. And he cashes it in. They are 7 down through 11 holes. Let's see if they can continue this hot start. Now, this hole did change in 2023, but the Aceless Joes are playing the 2022 layout. Now, the tee shot was almost perfect, but it just pushed a little long and did not give them a good angle for the upshot, so they got stuck with this long putt, which they square up a tree, and looks like they'll settle for par. Now on to one of the more iconic holes on the course with that Y tree just off the tee pad. That gap is a lot smaller in person than it is on video, so Drew goes a little heavy on the hyzer, barely lands in bounds, and we have a very obstructed second shot. He does execute it, but let's see what Benjamin did. And just a brutal kick off the tree. Now Benjamin has to go survive the wilderness of Kentucky and search for his disc. Who knows if he'll ever come back and if we'll see him the rest of the round. But looks like he did get his disc and he's back and he executes that upshot to give themselves the opportunity for par, which Drew cashes in. On to one of the more technical holes on the course is hole 14. You're trying to throw down this massive hill through a wall of trees, which they do not do. As you saw, they had that early tree kick. The second shot is clean, but it is very low and does not make it all the way to the bottom of the hill. Now, this third shot hits an early tree, and that was their fourth shot. So they're going to settle for bogey in best shot doubles, which is quite embarrassing. But we are on to hole 15, which is straight up a hill. And they leave that one off to the left, which makes the second shot very difficult, and they do not make very much progress on that. The third shot is excellent, though. They're going to be able to save par with trouble off the tee. And on to our second par 5 on the course, hole 16, and I think the Aceless Joes are happy to have an open shot because they've had some trouble in the woods as of late, so they are happy to see a big open fairway. Now, if you watch the Pro Tour event, you will see a lot of players go for eagle, but let's remember who we're watching here. These guys have no chance for eagle, but they do have this upshot, which will give them a birdie look. Yes, he is able to land it on one of those iconic greens, and Drew is able to tap it in for birdie. And headed back into the woods for hole 17. Now, this hole is only 287 feet, but the landing zone by the basket is very small, so it is difficult to land your disc that soft from that far away. So the Aceless Joes really just lay up and play this for par. And moving on to hole 18, which is one of the longest par 4s on the course, and this shot looks absolutely perfect off the tee, but they still have no chance for birdie at all. This hole is designed for 1,000 rated players, so even though he had a great first shot, got out of the woods clean, the best they can do is lay up for par.
We shot -7, which we were happy with. Front nine is very soft. Back nine got a lot tougher.
Like and subscribe.